graduates are ready to process, so if you'll take our seats, we'll get started. Congratulations, everyone, and thank you for being here. Good morning. Please make yourself comfortable. My name is Michael Turner. It is my distinct privilege to be the head of school here at Shipley, and I am delighted to welcome you to campus today, both physically and literally from around the world. Trustees, colleagues, families and friends, students and alumni of the Shipley School, welcome to commencement. And of course, to the indomitable members of the class of 2020, welcome. As I just said to our graduates down in the quad, they have come a long way. This has been a unique and remarkable journey to this day, to this time, and to this place. And now today is a day for celebration and gratitude for that journey, for this day, and for all that has gone into it. We're grateful that the weather has cooperated. The skies have turned blue from yesterday's rain. We're grateful for all of the people who made today possible, for the communications team and the tech team, pulling off remarkable feats so that people can be joining us literally from around the world, to the physical plant and cleaning crew who made this unique and powerful physical gathering possible, to our music colleagues and ensembles who performed not only this morning but will throughout the day, to our upper school administration, our deans, our colleagues who've worked tirelessly to make this a special day and a special year, to our speaker today, Katharina Risqueta, member of the class of '85, and welcome to her family for joining us. Thank you all for being here. We're also grateful not just for this day, but for this remarkable year that caps this journey, and for all of the journeys that have brought you to today. Regardless of how long you've been here at Shipley, right? Today we celebrate all of it, the trials, the tribulations, the celebrations, the triumphs. We celebrate all of it, and we are grateful for all of it because it has brought you to this day, it has brought you to us, and it will send you forward into a future that Katharina will talk a little bit about and help you prepare in one final lesson, as well as a future that I can't imagine what it will look like. It's common in graduation speeches to talk about preparation for a future we can't predict. Well, if there has ever been a graduating class that was prepared for a future that you can't predict, it is the class of 2020. Born and raised in this century, you have seen the rise and inculcation of smartphones and social media, from novelties to necessary parts of life, right? You've lived amidst disaster and triumph. You've seen climate change go from a theory to a daily reality. China rise to a world power to home for some of our classmates. The first 2 decades of your life have been remarkable. I can only imagine what the next 2 and the next 2 and the next 2 will bring. But again, I cannot think of someone or any group more prepared than you. What you have planted here at Shipley and here in this community will continue to bloom. I brought with me today an example of that. One of the ways you've adapted, you came to our house with Mrs. Turner and I and planted blooms. And fittingly, this week, they took flight. They bloomed this week just in time for you. Right? My task today is to welcome you, but instead, you've welcomed me. You've welcomed me, Mrs. Turner, and our family. You've made others feel welcome on this campus, and you've taken seriously the need to make all those feel welcome in your presence, wherever you may go. This is no small thing, right? So whether it's a flower, a sense of inclusion, as Kat will talk about today, right? You have had an amazing journey. And so rather than me welcoming you, thank you for welcoming me and my family. Thank you for making all those around you feel welcome. Thank you for making our mission your life's work, for loving learning, for loving those around you, for living compassion, and for doing what we do today. Today we adapt, we celebrate, and we're grateful. So in a final act of that, I'd like to turn your attention to the video board, where we'll see our music faculty, led by Dr. Givler, along with Mr. Oates, Mr. Casilla, Mr. Wagner, and Mr. Mata, who've adapted and will share back with you a gift of love, an expression of standing by each other, because that's what we've done, and that's what you've done. You've welcomed us, you've stood together, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you for being here. Welcome, and please enjoy the day.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see, oh, I won't be afraid, no, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And Shipley stands with you always, so stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
Good morning. I have selected This Is My Wish for You by Ralph Waldo Emerson for today's invocation. This is my wish for you. Comfort on difficult days, smiles when sadness intrudes, rainbows to follow the clouds, laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your heart, hugs when spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships to brighten your being, faith so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the truth, and love to complete your life. Thank you.
Good morning, class of 2020. Wish I could all give you hugs today. So wonderful to see you, and welcome to all that are attending virtually. I am Margaret Van Steenwyck, head of Upper School. This morning, I have the honor of introducing our commencement speaker, Katharina M. Roschetta. Kat is one of our very own. She graduated from Shipley in 1985 and received her BA cum laude from Yale University and an MBA from the Wharton University of Pennsylvania. It's not surprising that in her senior year, Kat received the Havemeyer-Dobie Award for effort, cooperation, spirit, and service. She is the founding executive director of the Center for High Impact Philanthropy at the University of Pennsylvania. Before accepting her appointment at the center in 2006, Kat was a consultant with McKinsey & Company, where she served clients in areas of strategy development, capability building, and post-merger management. She has always been committed to community. While at McKinsey, she led several employee volunteer initiatives to support consultant involvement for nonprofit boards. Prior to joining McKinsey, Kat worked in community development, nonprofit management, and venture philanthropy. She served as a founding team member of the New Schools Venture Fund, founding director at Board Match Plus, a San Francisco program dedicated to strengthening nonprofit boards, and program manager of Wells Fargo's Corporate Community Development Group. She and her husband, Michael, live in Philadelphia with their 3 children. Her work and comments have been cited in numerous publications. Most recently, Kat and the Center were profiled by the Philadelphia Magazine in their feature article, How to Give Your Money Away. She is a frequent speaker on issues of social impact management and philanthropy, and has lectured at the Wharton Business School, Stanford Graduate School of Business, University of California Haas School of Business, and the University of San Francisco's Institute for Nonprofit Organization Management. She was the 2012 recipient of the Wharton Women in Business Kathleen McDonald Distinguished Alumna Award. She currently serves on the National Board of the Greenlight Fund and is the co-chair for the Greenlight Philadelphia Fund, which brings together leaders from the business and social sectors to address some of the most intractable challenges facing cities around the country. She is the 2020 recipient of the Shipley School Margaret Bailey Spear Award. The Margaret Bailey Spear Award is given to a graduate who has shown courage for the deed and grace for the doing, whose deeds have helped make the community stronger and freer, who has in some way helped to lessen prejudice, intolerance, and injustice, or whose accomplishment, political, artistic, literary, or scientific, bring credit to him or her and also to the Shipley School. I am sure that you will agree that Kat has brought extraordinary credit to the Shipley School, and we are so grateful that she has agreed to be our speaker today. On a personal note, I so appreciate Kat's efforts to learn about the class of 2020. She is curious, thoughtful, and continues to live our mission in her professional and personal endeavors. Please welcome Kat Roschetta.
Margaret, thank you for that very generous introduction. At 52, I discovered there is no faster time machine back to your teenage self than being asked by the head of your high school to speak at commencement. Shipley class of 2020, if you traveled back with me in that time machine, you'd see Elle Christine's mom, Serene, Maxwell Orr's mom, Elizabeth Evert, both my classmates. Back then, we all called Hilary Day Maynor Dean's mom, Penny. Tyler's mom, Mimi, was the year below us. along with my science lab partner, a pre-purple-haired Wendy Idlejorg. You'll notice I only mentioned moms, no dads, because back in the 80s, Shipley was still transitioning from an all-girls boarding school to a co-ed day school. There were still girl boarders when I entered as a 9th grader, and only 20 boys in my graduating class. Come prom time, I don't think there were 20 more popular boys on the whole main line. Clearly, a lot has changed since I was sitting in your seats. But of course, Shipley class of 2020, you are the last class that needs to be told how fast and how much things can change. So instead, I want to focus on something that doesn't change. I want to talk about one of the most fundamental needs that we each have, one that persists throughout our lives, from toddler to proud graduate and far, far beyond. Because when you help satisfy this need in others, you and they together can tackle anything this crazy world throws at us. And that is the need to belong. Because if there's one thing these past few months have reminded me, it's that there is no more powerful gift that you can give to another person than to instill in them a sense of belonging. Now, when I first arrived at Shipley as a 9th grader, I really wasn't sure I belonged. My parents immigrated from the Philippines. Like most Filipinos in my extended family, including Malen Kelly and Nico Malabuyo in the class right below you, we were Catholic. And at that time, and if you lived where my family lived, Mount St. Joseph Academy was the school that Catholic girls who were good students belonged. But somehow, even though we lived on the other side of the river, and even though we knew absolutely no one who had gone to an independent school on the main line, my immigrant mother, Nelia Rusqueta, who's sitting in the front row, found Shipley. I applied, I got in, and then my mom called to decline because she explained that I had gotten a full-ride scholarship to the Mount, and given our family's financial situation, there was simply no way we could turn that down. On the spot, the then Shipley's admission director said, no, wait. Whatever she received there, we'll match it. By providing that financial aid, the Shipley admissions director was telling my family, we think she belongs here. Still, my first year at Shipley, I felt a little like I'd landed on Mars. Part of it was that some of my classmates just spoke differently from the kids that I'd gone to school with. See, for me, a cape is what Superman and Batman wear. And summer is a noun. It's the season that comes after spring and before fall. So the first time a classmate of mine said, my family's summer's on the Cape, I had no idea what she was talking about. Shipley was also far less diverse than it is today, across every dimension: gender, race, ethnicity, religion, socioeconomic status. Later, when my younger brother and sister also came to Shipley, my cousin, we were only half joking when we said that our family doubled the minority population at the school. Yet throughout my time at Shipley, others picked up the baton of that admissions director to expand my sense of belonging. Ms. Wagner, in her inimitably caustic yet caring way, created a second home for me in the art studio. When I was ready to apply to college and others thought, oh, daughter of Asian immigrants, good science student, pre-med, she's kind of quiet, she should go to an all-girls college. Mr. Ely and Mr. Coleman, two men who demographically could not have been more different from me, encouraged me to consider their, and eventually my undergraduate alma mater, Yale. My colleague Stacy Holland, an expert in youth development, once told me, "Children go where you lead them." Though I wasn't always comfortable, my Shipley classmates and teachers led me to places that I wouldn't have considered on my own. And in doing so, they widened my sense of where and with whom I belonged. Now, sometimes life admits you to a club that you never, ever wanted to belong to. Labor Day 1983, right before the start of my junior year, a drunk driver swerved into the lane of my family's car. My dad, my grandmother, and my youngest brother were killed. At the end of their funeral service, that same young Shipley French teacher who would encourage me to apply to Yale, Greg Coleman, handed me a handwritten letter. In it, he shared his own experience of losing his father as a teenager. That letter was the first in a series of gestures that others have made throughout my life to let me know that when things are at their darkest, I didn't belong to a lonely club of one, but to a whole community of people who have known loss, but with time and support, not only recovered, but thrived. Fast forward to my first year at Wharton in my MBA program, and I'm sitting next to a fellow classmate. In my memory, big guy, already looked like a CEO. Now, I had just spent a decade in the San Francisco Bay Area, so I'm there in Doc Martens, and I think I may have been wearing overalls. You couldn't have expected two more different-looking people sitting next to each other. But like it is in a lot of MBA or big law classes, we all had our name tags. And I peered down and looked at his name, and I noticed the last name. And I mentioned that when I was a senior in high school, I received a scholarship named after a 16-year-old girl who had died in a fatal accident. She had the same last name, Tammy Turgeon. You wouldn't happen to be related. That's when your classmate, Max's dad, my MBA classmate, Paul Turgeon, looked at my name tent, looked at me, and said yes. She was my sister. My mother still keeps the thank you letter you sent after receiving that scholarship. In that moment, I realized that sometimes special bonds exist between people. People who on the surface may not seem to have anything in common. But once you discover that bond, it deepens your sense of belonging to a common community. To belong is to matter. Members of the class of 2020, you matter deeply to the two people sitting next to you right now. There is a frequently quoted saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Under normal circumstances, this is the point when I would ask you to give the people beside you a round of applause. But in the time of COVID, instead, I'd like to invite you right now to give the two people sitting next to you the biggest, tightest, sweatiest, non-social distant hug that you can muster. That is a luxury. And you and they deserved that. To belong is to matter. And that's why what's going on in the world right now around us needs to change. The political polarization that has been decades in the making, the long overdue reckoning for centuries of racial injustice. Closer to home, the stories shared by Black Shipley alums on Black Mainline Speaks. These are all examples of the pain and lost potential created when our fellow citizens, neighbors, alumni, and classmates are sent messages, big and small, from individuals and institutions, that they don't belong, that they don't matter, that they aren't worth as much as others. But if there is one Shipley class that can change that, it's yours. That is not just an empty compliment. As Margaret said, I spent time getting to know your class. I spent hours watching your class laureate, reading every citation, speaking to faculty and administrators. I ask them, tell me about this class. Yours is the class that created homecoming. And you insisted that the whole upper school be included. After years of no one attending, yours is the class that got people to come back to a school dance again. Without naming names, one administrator shared, this class has a deep sense of community. They care about each other, and I shouldn't admit it, but they're my favorite class. Toward the end of a recent alumni Zoom call about the stories that Black Shipley alums shared on Black Mainline Speaks, my fellow alumna, Adrienne Kenton, issued a call to action. She reminded all of us on that Zoom call that the Shipley sisters were radical. At a time when many believed girls did not belong in secondary school, let alone in college, they created an educational home that told the world, no, you're wrong. Girls and women do belong, and we're creating a place for them. In closing, and as one proud Shipley alumna to you, my soon-to-be fellow Shipley alums, I want to extend Adrienne's call to action to each of you. Today is your commencement. It marks the end of Shipley as your educational home and the beginning of the next phase of your life's journey. You will find new educational homes, new classmates, new friends, new mentors to help lead you to where you want to go next. But no matter what school you attend, what profession you choose, where you live, what your families look like, I urge you to continue the legacy of those radical Shipley sisters. Do all that you can to instill and expand a sense of belonging to all those who continue to feel and be treated as outsiders, left out, like they don't matter. In 2020, this is the deed to take up. And true to our school's motto, take it up with courage and grace. Because when you do, your lives, our world will be the better and richer for it. Thank you, and congratulations, Shipley Class of 2020.
Let's just do a quick intro. Kat, that was beautiful. Thank you. One more round for Kat. That was fun. And now we will celebrate our graduates as our first group comes up. So thanks to Ms. Dadar, Mr. Clement, who will serve as our ushers. Ms. Lyon will serve as our announcer. And Ms. Van Steenwyck and I will confer the diplomas. Normally, at moments like this, heads of schools say things like, please hold your applause. I don't think we're doing that. I mean, you're sitting in the sun on the turf. I think we're gonna use we're gonna lean into the sweaty hugs, and we're just gonna clap till our heart's content. Can we do that? Great, okay. Once again, congratulations. Ms. Lyon.
Oh, what a relief. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to have my face exposed for a little bit. Are we ready? Mortimer Declan Buckley. Alexis Wojtewicz. Zachary Leo Aboud Bieber. Aiden Bailey. Lilia Isabel Becker. Dylan Bevan. Allison Marie Block. Sana Raza Bakari. You're welcome. Hannah Book. Palmer Rose Booth. Victoria L. Bozeman, who is not able to be here today with us. Hannah Brainsky. Maxwell Lawrence Brandt, who is not able to be with us today. Randall Scott Brown. Aiden Thayer Bullitt. Kai Etzer Champion. Alyssa Jade Chandler. Yiwei Chen, who is not able to be here today, hopefully watching from China. L. Naomi Christine. Rowan Lucas Colazzo. Sarah Ann Catetta. Larissa Jean Culbertson. Lindsay Elise Davis. Carol Riley Dewey. Julia Claire Dickman. Marin Donahue. Jean Grant Dong, who is not able to be here today, hopefully watching from China. Tyler Howland Drake. Nell Sweetheart Duke is not able to be here today. Jeffrey James Extor, also not able to be here today. James Fallon. Audrey Nicole Fink. Hunter Gallo. Yep. Augustus Curlin Garrett. Haley Marie Gibson. Bo Gold. Luke Anthony Graham. Marco Lewis Grimmig. Joseph Dylan Grzinski. Olivia Juliet Hamilton. Michael Allen Hamilton. James Baldadian Heckscher. Alexandra Louise Holgren. Emma Horfar. Angeline Jiang, who is not able to be here with us today, also in China. Karina Jiang, who is not able to be here with us today, also hopefully watching from China. Jordan Sydney Calliner. Ryan Benjamin Calliner. Jerry Nicholas Corrales. Isaac Hollander Kaiser. Cole Michael Kelton. Thomas Vasquez Kim. Jonathan Bennett Kimmel. Shayna Jade Cote. Amelia Elizabeth Lawler. Brooke Elizabeth Leibowitz, who is not able to be here today. Michael Amir Lempk. Ian Maxwell Lissack. Isaiah Meyer. Rodney Dean Day Maynor. Allison Rose Massio. Brian McDade. Gianna Marie McDougall. Sarah Virginia McGrath. Alexandra Catherine McKnight. Julia Isabella Arneso Meckley. Kyle Alexander Mesro. Caroline Jolie Milgram. Lily Eileen McLean Naveau. Mercy Olakani. Maxwell Evert Orr. Jacob Mark Polavina, who is not able to be here today. Darin Wakil Lamont Price. Tom Chu, who is not able to be here today, hopefully watching from China. Jordan Elizabeth Rampula. Henry Taylor Reed. Carolina Maeve Riley. Jack Ira Claude Robinson. Jeffrey Roman. Eric Scott Rosenbaum. Tori Elise Rosenblum. Umar Chase Savinson. Sophie Smith Slater, who is not able to be here today. Sasha Small. Charlotte Annabelle Smith. Elijah Smith, who is not able to be here today. Daniel Snitzer. Adelaide Bradley Straub, who is not able to be here today. Jace Conti Sullivan. Ginger Tan, who is not able to be here today, hopefully watching in China. Emma Catherine Turlovich. Treasure Thornton. Maximilian Vas Turgeon. Lily Waldron. Shannon Wang, who is not able to be here today, hopefully watching in China. Nadia Pilar Weitzel. Isabella Willing. Grace Wu. Mike Wu, who's not able to be here today, hopefully watching in from China. Victoria Laura Zaret. Kevin Zhang, who is not able to be here today, hopefully watching from China. Kirsten Zuccarini. Welcome. That is the class of 2020. Congratulations to all. Thank you.
I'd ask that you remain standing for our school song, those that are able.
For the valediction. The following is an excerpt of the cadet prayer from the United States Military Academy, West Point. Encourage us in our endeavor to live above the common level of life. Make us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong, and never to be content with a half-truth when the whole can be won. Endow us with the courage that is born of loyalty to all that is noble and worthy, that scorns to compromise with vice and injustice, and knows no fear when truth and right are in jeopardy. Guard us against flippancy and irreverence in the sacred things of life. Grant us new ties of friendship and new opportunities of service. Kindle our hearts in fellowship with those of cheerful countenance, and soften our hearts with sympathy for those who sorrow and suffer.
Just want to close with a personal note of thanks to all of you for making this a special day. While this was the class of 2020's one and only commencement, it was my first. It was unique for all of us. But I'm deeply, deeply personally thankful and grateful not just to the members of the class of 2020, but to your families, those watching at home, and to all of the colleagues, all of the friends, all the members of the community who made this possible. One final round of applause for everyone who made today possible. And as we close with a recessional, I'll remind you of Kat's words. Go forth, make each other continue to feel a sense of belonging, not only to this class, but everybody you encounter. And as you leave, please do continue to be safe as you return to your cars and on your way home. Thanks, everybody, for being here today.